Welcome back to Fail Better, Suck Less. I am your host, Giovanni. We have Tough Tempo owner, John Weeks, Coach Steve Smith, and Coach Lizzie Hope. And today's topic, we're going to get right into it about navigating the holidays. So, holidays can be a lot of things to a lot of people. It can be a little stressful. It can challenge our routine. It can challenge the day-to-day activities that we do. Because of travel, because of shopping, the endless topics that we're going to go over.
Family.
And the first family, very much like Dominique. Dominic or Dominique? How do you say it from Fast and Furious?
Dominic.
Dominic.
Dom.
Just Dom.
Just Dom.
Yeah, it's all about family.
Dom Toretto. Family.
That shows you how much I've been keeping up with this.
Family.
Hashtag family.
So God, did you just? I haven't seen that in years.
Can we cut and start over?
No, that's great. Isn't this the thing?
Can we just
Oh,
go?
Yeah, sorry.
So, first topic that we're going to go into regarding navigating the holidays is our lack of routine. How do the holidays affect your routine when we go about it with your clients, with you personally? What are your thoughts on the matter?
So I think lack of routine, for me personally, the holidays don't typically throw me off much because I don't travel that much, right? I think it kind of affects different people different ways. But for example, people that travel a lot for the holidays, like if they're flying or driving long distances, physically you're not going to feel good. You're probably sleeping in a bed that isn't yours, right? So that's going to affect how you recover. You're not going to be maybe at a place where you have access to facilities to do your training if you're trying to get your training in, unless you're planning all that stuff ahead of time. Do you get, like, tangent slightly, do you guys plan where you stay when you travel based on if there's a gym in close proximity?
I was going to cut you off and say
That's a really good
that's
point.
what I do.
I'm asking you guys because I actually do that.
I do that.
If I do travel, and I mean, even if it's like a weekend getaway or whatever, I try to always make sure either the hotel has a gym or there is a gym nearby.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
I do.
No?
You're on vacation.
No,
It's
if
like
I'm
full,
on vacation,
full
it's
vacation.
vacation.
I do gym nearby, but then as much as Gio's not going to like to hear this, I also make sure my workouts are before everyone else is awake.
Yeah.
Just get it out
Smart.
of the way.
Well, you're a morning person, so yeah.
I am a morning person.
Tracks. Totally tracks.
Yes, as
Yeah.
a morning person, for sure. If I can get it done at 5 a.m., and again, if that's even at the hotel gym, because you have full access to it, nobody's down there at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So you can do a full, like, CrossFit workout with whatever they have.
Yeah.
And I always try to bring bands.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, I'll bring my band, I'll bring my foam roller.
Coffee.
Well, the coffee's going to be in the lobby.
Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of
yeah.
5-star hotels are you staying
I
in?
do feel like the lack of routine affects people that are maybe already struggling with consistency the most, right? So people that are like super type A, probably 5 a.m. morning people, that kind of stuff, they probably are already planning for this when they're traveling. But for people that are like 2 times a week, 3 times a week, and they're like really having to motivate themselves to come in consistently, I think the lack of routine could affect them more. So what I would say is just try to plan out to have some physical activity, whether or not it's like going to a gym and actually working out, or going for some longer walks or hikes if you're somewhere a little bit more rural. Just get outside, enjoy that a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a holiday. Enjoy it. Enjoy your family.
Yeah.
Enjoy that time, and don't stress out about it too much.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy it for what it is. And our second, going into it, large gatherings and meals. So that's kind of a given the holidays. You're always going to be around food. You're always going to be around friends or family. So what's your take on that? Let's touch on back to you because you're going on keto.
Okay.
How are you going to navigate?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
He's like, I haven't thought about this yet.
Well, so I'm lucky in the sense that I'm hosting for Thanksgiving, right? So I'll have family at my place so I can kind of plan the meals a little bit more effectively that way. For those of you that are maybe a little bit less familiar with keto, it's very high fat, very high protein, and almost no carbs, right? So I'm much more choosy in terms of what I'm picking if there's a large spread. But I'm going to smoke my turkey, right, in the smoker.
Not
it's going to be
where I
great.
thought that was going.
What's that?
Nothing.
And then I'll do my fibrous veggies, and I just won't eat all of the other delicious things that everybody gets. There will be no pie for me.
No pie.
Sad face. Let's talk to our resident
Yeah, I was gonna say
baker here.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean, I am a firm believer in holiday being a holiday. We don't get that many of them, especially with family and friends. So I try to eat with moderation. I don't stuff myself to the point where I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
But once the leftovers are gone, it's back to normal meal prepping, normal life. As far as enjoying myself, that's the number one for me. It's a meal, right? It's being together with the people that you care about. I kind of just enjoy for that day. Hopefully whatever leftovers I have, it's not Tupperware after Tupperware, but even still,
You gotta send everybody home with something.
Yeah.
that's the big one.
Get it out of the house.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't host, so a little bit more of a challenge as far as what's being served to us. But for the most part, I don't really track on a holiday.
Yeah.
Because it's a holiday.
Lizzie?
Well, so I'm not a big holiday person. I don't have family here. So if we can avoid holidays and families, we do. But I'm one of those people that when I travel, and when there is an excuse to eat something I normally wouldn't eat, I take that as challenge accepted and I will eat. So what I try to do is I feel like a lot of people are guilty of this. They're guilty of not eating breakfast or lunch, preparing to stuff themselves for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So what I try to do now is breakfast and lunch, eat protein, carbs, fats, drink my water, go to dinner, and then I'm not
Starving.
salivating over the food that I see. I'm just excited to have a little bit of everything.
Smart.
So that's what I've been doing. But you could just not do holidays.
Gio?
I would probably bank on that. I'm not a holiday person whatsoever. Don't celebrate pretty much anything.
Curmudgeon.
I wonder if it's a morning person
100%.
thing.
You're not a morning person. So, but what I will say on the meals aspect, it has been a very big journey for me on the topic of food.
Mm-hmm.
And so I, for the most part, enjoy food for so many reasons, right? But for the holidays, I really wouldn't say I change up much besides that one day.
Yeah.
I look forward to my turkey. I look forward to my gravy. I look forward to my mashed potatoes. But that's not to say I wouldn't have any of those stuff any other given day of the year.
Right.
And I like that. So for me, holidays, I will probably say this: my meals will become a little bit more dependent because I like to do Murph on Thanksgiving and on Christmas. And that to me, I'm wrecked.
What
I'm
about
sore.
kitchen sink, man? You gonna do kitchen sink this year?
Well, I'll do that too.
Is your hand gonna be ready?
No.
We'll see.
Empty bar. It's only empty bar.
I did
Yeah,
empty
this
bar
is-
today. Well, I did 30 kilos today.
All right.
I was gonna say Jackie, that workout is only empty bar, and that still sucks.
That's rough.
Have you done kitchen sink?
No, because it's in the morning.
You guys totally derailed. I was going to ask what everyone's favorite food was, but now we're talking about workouts and it's really lame.
We'll get back to the food, I'm sure. Yeah.
What is your favorite food?
Thank you. Stuffing. Holiday food. Holiday food.
Holiday food.
Macaroni and cheese.
Okay, okay.
I would actually say stuffing too. I love a good stuffing with lots of meat in it.
I'm an apple pie person. I skip right for the desserts.
I'm a lot more of a savory person than a sweet person in general, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I also just didn't grow up with sweets. So I would say for sure my favorite, it's the turkey. Turkey, good gravy.
Nobody likes turkey.
It's dry.
Have you seen Gio nap though? Gio naps
Yeah,
hard.
that's
He
true.
likes that turkey. I bet
That
he
is
naps
true.
real hard.
1,000%.
Can I come over for Thanksgiving this year?
I will sleep on here and we'll get the security footage of me just snoring away.
Cool.
Can I come over for Thanksgiving this year?
We'll see.
That's
Show
a
up to
no.
the morning classes. Maybe we'll talk about it.
For those following
I
along,
think-
that's a no.
So I guess we touched upon this a little bit when we talked about the lack of routine, but travel and fitness on the road.
Mhm.
So briefly, kind of going over it again.
Mhm.
How do you manage with that? And again, are you traveling this holiday season?
So I think a lot of it depends on where you are, right? So if you're staying at a Airbnb, right, you're not going to necessarily have options in the actual house. If you're staying in a hotel, there's probably a fitness center, even if there's not a lot there. What's everybody's favorite hotel workout?
Cindy, but you sub the pull-ups for literally anything.
Mhm.
So probably burpees.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a favorite hotel CrossFit workout. Like I just like to do like hypertrophy work.
I think everybody's like go-to for CrossFit is 100 burpees for time. It's because you can do it anywhere.
I feel like a lot of people do the dub
Yeah.
one too.
Why are you making that face?
For me, I always like doing if there's a treadmill available in the fitness center, because you don't always know if there's going to be like dumbbells and everything else. So like run a mile, and then I do like a descending ladder of 10 to 1 on push-ups and 20 to 2 on air squats, and it's like you can push the intensity on that.
You know what we should do this year for holiday season?
Yeah.
We should just do a few home watts.
Good.
Limited
edition
holiday season.
Bring back the tough at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
I like that idea.
What's your hotel
So
lodge?
I always travel with my CrossFit bag. So I've got my jump rope in there. I've got my bands in there. I got my foam roller there. I'd say I love doing jump ropes. You know, usually a hotel space has just like a nice big open area. But I will say, like, if I see a cable machine or something, I will go into full bodybuilding mode. Like, I just like getting some good sets in there.
Chest flies.
And
Plate
like
stack.
bench
Let's go.
press, dumbbell curls, whatever, just to get a good pump.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel if I'm traveling or if I'm out there, I don't know, like I'm already going to be walking enough throughout the day or something that I don't necessarily want to tire myself too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fun little break away from it. You know, you don't always have those machines.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do have it available, you know, it's a nice kind of excuse to switch up your routine, you know, challenge your body in a different way.
Yeah.
And then I usually feel sore from that. So I'm sore. Give me all the food while I'm traveling.
One thing I would say for people that are planning on traveling and traveling light, check out the home WODs that we had from COVID during lockdowns, because we posted a ton of stuff with dumbbell and kettlebell work. If you can get to a fitness center, you can do 99% of those workouts probably in a hotel. You have to scroll back a little bit on social media, but it's all there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I like that. And tag us if you're working out.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Fantastic.
Steve, I'd like for you to kick off with this next one because you mentioned it briefly, being okay with not tracking.
Well, yeah, that took me a while. So I've tried pretty much every single meal, tracking, RP, macro stacks, all of the, whatever. And none of them really stuck until I did a good cycle of just like conscious eating. So taking a lot of pictures of what I eat and looking at it and seeing the portion size and just knowing that is, an appropriate amount of food per meal. So I don't track anymore, and I'm the most consistent with my weight that I've been in a very long time. I was a big yo-yo up and down in weight, 1 minute, crash diet and you lose 15 pounds and then you stop for a week and you're back up. But I mean, as far as like tracking, not tracking or being okay with tracking, whatever it is, if that's something that you're used to doing, you should probably have a good idea of what your macros look like per meal. But don't hold back, right? It's a holiday. In my opinion, one meal is not going to derail you.
For sure.
For sure.
2 meals, not going to derail you.
Go ahead, Lizzie. Go ahead.
Well, now I forgot what I was going to say.
So one thing I was going to say, I think a lot of times people, if they do track, right, they overthink how much they're eating. They're like, oh, I'm eating so much. But 1 pound of body fat is 3,500 calories. There's no way you're overeating by that much that it's going to stack on 10, 15 pounds on you where it's actually weight that's staying on you, right? Like maybe the next day you're a little bit bloated and you're retaining a bunch of water and all that kind of stuff, but most of that is going to come right back off, right?
Yep.
So I think it's important to have that perspective. And if you are the type of person that like weighs and measures and tracks very like religiously, you have to either just say to yourself, like, today it's not a thing, or be planning ahead of it, right? Like bring your food to the meal, which is like a lot of times probably like frowned upon by the fam, right? They're going to think you're a psycho, but it will make you feel better. And really that's the important thing. So it's like, if you're comfortable in that situation, bringing your food, then go ahead and do it. But otherwise, I think most people will feel better just saying, it's a holiday, I'm here with my family.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stress about it.
Yep.
Right. But I think that a lot of times people think like, oh, I gained 10 pounds this week. It's like, no, you actually didn't. You really didn't. It's important. Like usually for that type of mentality, it's actually more important to get back off the scale and just get back to tracking your meals. And then 2 or 3 days, you'll be probably right back where you were.
Agreed.
So that's kind of what I was going to say. Not necessarily bringing your food to the meal, but if that works for you, it works for you. I was actually going to say, like, bring your protein bars, bring your oatmeal packets, bring your jar of peanut butter to the hotel, the Airbnb, to your parents' house, wherever you're going, and have that for breakfast and lunch, or have it as your snack during the day. One meal for dinner that you're not habitually eating isn't, like Steve said, going to derail you.
Yep.
So that's what whenever I travel, I always bring, I'm a habitual eater. So like, I always have a protein bar in the morning, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. Like that, I'm always eating that protein bar. So when I travel, I do the same thing. And that's something that I just don't change, and it helps with my routine when I travel.
For sure.
I like what Steve started off with, and I think it's been pretty consistent with what you've been saying, is enjoy the holidays, right? Like, be okay with it, with not tracking. If you are somebody you are tracking your food and that works for you, awesome. You know, like, not taking away from that at all, but I do not track my food for my own health and my mental health. I stray away from that. But one big thing on the portion control that you were kind of talking about, feeling bloated, so many times I would think, like, whatever the restaurants were serving, like when you're going out to eat or whatever, these are big portions.
Oh, for sure.
And I would start doing that at home, thinking like, that's my portion control. And it's like realizing you shouldn't feel absolutely exhausted after you eat at home. And that helped a lot when I'm like going out to eat or anything. I'm like, I don't need all that. Like, I just need this. I'll save half of it, you know, for a later meal, whatever it may be.
One of the best pieces of advice I ever got from a registered dietitian friend of mine was, when you're eating out, the first thing you do after you order the meal is ask for the box to box up half of it before you even touch the plate.
I like that.
Because then you take the meal there, you enjoy it, right? And you might still be like a little bit hungry, but when you let it sit, you're actually satiated, you're fine. And then you have the leftovers, right? But the same thing applies to a family gathering. It's like, you don't have to eat to the point where you are like uncomfortably full. It's,
Right.
Drink more water.
That's what I was thinking.
Drink more water. And I think a big part of it is like, put the fork down, right? So like while you're eating, like have that in between bites, like put the fork down, have a conversation with your cousin who you haven't seen, you know, in a year or whatever. Or, you know, if you don't want to talk to that person, talk to somebody else. Like, find a way to like have a break there in between bites. And I think that goes a long way too. It's just pacing it more, you know. There's
And
even
chew your food.
You know, I was actually literally about to say that too. So they talk about this in one of the books I read about breath. They talk about how like people don't chew their food anymore. They just literally take like 3 bites, like 3 chews, and just swallow.
I
It's
feel
like,
seen.
it's crazy.
I'm guilty of
Me
that.
on the holidays.
So like masticate your food, you
Right.
know, and then you'll, 1, eat slower, and 2, your digestion will be better. Yeah, for sure.
But also,
The
holiday isn't going to derail you.
correct.
Just
Correct.
a reminder. Just
But
throwing that out.
I will say, if you imbibe in the liquid carbs, bread, you know, like, beer, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
Be-
is bread a liquid carb?
Oh, well, I mean, it's liquid bread. Let's
No,
be
you said
honest.
beer after. I got it.
But yeah, no, if you do partake in some alcoholic beverages over the holidays, just be very mindful how quickly they add up and they stack.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they do.
And I'm not saying, as a party killer, don't have fun, but very quickly can get out of control.
And drink more water, like you said.
And we talked about this kind of going on for our next topics. It's kind of been a consistent theme is live a little, have a plan on how to get back on track. So you seeing family, for whenever it's the last time that you got to see them, enjoy it, crack open a beer, have some wine, whatever. We've been saying it throughout this entire time on this podcast is it's not going to derail you, right? These couple of days, that week with family, it's not going to derail you. Have fun, have a plan for getting back into the gym, easing back into it. If you didn't work out for that week for whatever reason, understand your body may need a little bit more time going into it. You may not want to rush into RX Plus. You may want to scale the first 2 days, just to allow your body to get back into it. And then, you'll be back to normal.
Yeah, I think the intensity will come back quite quickly. If anything, like we talked about on our last episode, sometimes having that extra time off is actually great. Like your body might feel better with those extra rest days. But I think, coming back, it's important, like reserve your first couple of classes, right? Get some momentum coming back in. Like, okay, I'm gonna hit it on Monday. I'm gonna get back to my normal routine. Don't feel like you got to have like the perfect week, but have a plan of like, I'm going to attend a couple classes this week. Let me reserve those out now. So I'm kind of ahead of it and I can't allow myself to stay in this like comfortable place with my leftovers in my fridge. Like, let me like get back to more of my routine, and then you'll work your way through the leftovers, but it'll be like more systematic as opposed to like, let me just like take 3-4 more days off from the gym and, polish off this fridge. Kind of situation.
On a like kind of switching gears, we mentioned like if you want to have a beer, have a beer. If you want to have a shot, take a shot. But like on another note, I don't drink, and I found that it's not all, like when you see friends that you haven't seen in a while, they want to peer pressure you into drinking. And if you don't want to drink, feel confident, being like, no, I'm good with that.
Yep.
Thanks. Or like
boundaries.
For a really long time, I carried around water in my hand. By the time people have had their 3rd, 4th, 5th drink, they don't even know what I'm carrying.
Right.
So like they don't peer pressure me. So like, I know I kind of went off track there for a little bit, but like if you hang out with friends and family that were like, no, just eat the cookie, and you don't want the cookie, don't eat the cookie.
Yeah. I think there's a kind of an undercurrent of some of these different topics where we're assuming that these are happy gatherings and all this other kind of stuff. But I know that for some people, holidays can be very stressful because maybe they're seeing sides of the family that they don't see that often. Maybe there's,
for a reason,
intergenerational dynamics there. Like, who knows, right? So there could definitely be some stress there. I think that lean into those parts of the holiday that fulfill you and make you feel good, and those people in your family that help you enjoy that time, and then try to engage with the other people in whatever amount you feel comfortable, for sure.
Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I for sure enjoy the holiday season, but at the same time, it takes its toll, for sure. Mentally, there's a lot going on. a lot of commotion, a lot of travel, a lot of planning. I try to take the very first day. So if I know I have to go somewhere, I take like the day before, and I do, very minimal, so I can enjoy some peace before the chaos.
Smart.
Or vice versa, going into, or coming home from, a gathering or something, knowing that the first half of my morning is reserved for me. Nadia is probably the best at that. She knows when she's drained. She knows when her batteries run out, and she's able to very quickly step away and kind of recharge. So that's kind of what we try to prioritize, especially with holiday seasons. Is just knowing that yes, we want to be there, we have a good time, but we need to reach baseline again.
Yeah.
One thing that I've taken to doing, this is more for vacations in general, but it applies here too, especially if you're traveling for the holidays. Give yourself that buffer day when you get back.
Huge.
Right? So it's like if you're going to come back on a Sunday night, don't go to work on Monday, right? Try to give yourself that extra day if you can. Obviously, it's not always easy. But giving yourself that buffer day to just kind of be like, I want to wake up in my own bed without an alarm, like have your slow morning, build out your routine, kind of help you get back to, moving. And then maybe that day you come in and work out a little bit later in the afternoon or something like that, just to kind of like get out of the house and move. But then you're not back right away to just the full work and everything else that you normally have. I think that'll help you combat the mental fatigue for sure.
I think we've segued pretty much into our last topic about that mental fatigue, and adding a little bit more on top of it is how do you prioritize your health and fitness through it all? But this can be mental health, as well. And for sure, I would say, since we've kind of already touched upon the topic, I really dislike just like overall holidays because of how much I think that adds on to so many people around me. And that can be very draining from my end, like trying to calm people down or help them through navigating through their holidays.
You're internalizing their stress. Yeah.
And it adds up. And so I think, kind of touching upon a lot of this, if I stick to my routine, I handle and cope with that a lot better. But my routine doesn't change because of the holidays. The holidays basically for me just don't exist. And I'm not saying that's not the route that everybody should take. You should definitely enjoy your holidays. I am definitely a Grinch. But to me, I really like what you said, like take that day after Sunday, when you come back, take that day off, like have a buffer day. I think that's extremely important. And then we've been talking about having your plan to get back on track on things. Yeah. Like sign up for the class ahead of time, tell yourself, I'm going to hold myself accountable. If I already reserved it, I want to show up there that day, come to the noon class because you took that buffer day. So you get to sleep in and know like, okay, I'm going to work out on the noon. That's going to be a new experience for me. I'm going to get to know the noon class.
She had to get one.
I had to get one.
One. See?
Yeah, I mean, I think I touched on it as far as like mentally, just knowing what your limits are, knowing when you're about to, approach them, and then having a plan in place to kind of recharge that battery just to, return to a normal life. It's so chaotic sometimes with traveling. Either you're driving or, dealing with airports, whatever it may be. All of those things play a role in, the stress that you take on. So you might not know it's building, but, the people around you can probably tell pretty quickly.
Yep.
Big one for me is I never let anybody else drive me to the thing.
Yes.
I always have my car, so I can exit when
That's-
I need to.
I'm actually, and I know everyone's relationship with their family is different. I have, over the years, made it very clear with my family that, like, if I say no, you're not changing my mind.
Right.
So, like, if you want to do Christmas Eve, I'm Jewish, so actually, like, Hanukkah for 8 straight nights, the answer is no. Pick a night, and we'll do it. And, like, Friendsgiving and Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving with my partner's family. Like, nope, we're picking one night, and that's it. And that's my relationship with my family, is just like, you're not going to like who I am, if you're with me this often.
If you
Right,
would
So
inflict-
let's
if
just
you would
not.
inflict all this
Yeah.
merriment on me.
So let's just not do that. So
Yeah.
I think it ties back to what I was saying about drinking. Don't be afraid to just be like, this isn't good for me. It's not going to be good for you. So let's just 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah.
I think that's important too, because I mean, you know that about yourself. You're setting those boundaries ahead of time because you want to have that enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Right. Any more than what you know is not going to be enjoyable for you.
Yeah.
It's not going to be enjoyable for the rest of your family.
Yeah.
You know, so knowing that ahead of time and being able to avoid that situation sounds like the best of both worlds to me.
I just want to play Zelda all day.
There you go. Love that.
And I
Love
think
that
to
for
me,
you.
like when I go into any kind of travel situation or just celebrating the holidays, if I get that morning workout for me,
Mhm.
I know I'm going to be much more relaxed, and I will
Absolutely.
be an enjoyable person to be around for, you know, for that event, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But if you take that away from me, and I'm not prioritizing myself through it all, like I don't want to have to be at an event and somebody look at me and it's like, "Are you okay?"
Mhm.
Immediately, I'll be like, "Then this is my cue to leave."
Yeah.
Like I'm not enjoying myself.
Yeah. One thing I will say, just kind of to give you all some resources at the end of the video here, we are closed for Christmas Eve evening
Mhm.
all the way through to New Year's Day morning. We'll have some late morning and classes later on New Year's Day. But the gym will be open during that week for open gym for our local people who are not traveling. Come on in here, get your workout in whenever you want. So that way people can do their open gym. Like I said, check out the social media, scroll back on Instagram a bit. You'll have a bunch of our home WODs that you can do on the road if that is going to be you and you are traveling. But we do want to provide you all with the tools that you need to get your fitness in over the holidays.
Steve?
Subscribe, like, share. We really enjoy doing this. You know, we wouldn't be able to do this without, you know, having a purpose. And, you know, I think getting together, talking about this, and hopefully you all learn something, take something away from it. But find us on Spotify, Apple,
Yep.
and
Apple Podcasts.
YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yep.
We'll be at Gio's house for Thanksgiving.
It's still a no for those of you.
Yes. On that note, thank
All
you
right,
guys so much. See you on the next one.